Okay, so as I said, we got a Protoss versus Zerg here on MLG Shakura's Plateau. This will be a little bit of a modified version of their ladder, I believe. What does this add? The
It
supply
adds the
depot?
depots,
Yeah.
and it doesn't force cross positions.
It just forces horizontal positions.
Horizontal, or you can't spawn vertical.
Right.
But that's on the ladder one as well.
Okay, so a little bit of background here on these two players. I did some research on them last night. Jyan is playing as Zerg, and he's in the Masters division. And his last 10 games versus Zerg, he is 5-5, so he's right at 50% there. And on the other hand, I have to give the advantage to Jyan because Draco is a Protoss Masters, and his last 10 games against Protoss. His last 10 games against Zerg, he's 2-8. So I think he's a little bit struggling with PVZ since patch 1.4. We'll have to see how things play out.
All right, so on the bottom left corner here, we have our Zerg player and part of the U of R team, Jyan.
I say Jyan, but
Jyan. We'll call him Jyan for now. So
we're going to pretend that he's Spanish today.
Yeah. So, and the top right corner, we have Draco. So we do have cross positions. This is going to be favoring Draco for a little bit. Makes the Forge Fast Expand a lot easier to do. But at the same time, Jyan can take an early third and defend it pretty good. So
as a Protoss, what do you like to do against Zergs who take an early third?
I really like the 5-6 gate pressure. It forces a lot of units out of them, and it pretty much cuts all their drone production. So
interesting. Well, also Jyan is actually sending his Overlord to the kind of a weird spawn or weird direction. Usually they send him right straight across towards this area to see if the Protoss is there, and then they can hide the Overlord in the back area to see if they're hiding any tech.
Yeah.
But sending it across is a little bit iffy.
Well, it does get, if he is there, you can position your Overlords just kind of behind their base. So it does give you a nice little flight path, and then the second one comes out, you can kind of come from that bottom expansion there.
Fair enough.
But we do see a gate first from Draco, so we're going to have a kind of a standard build from him. And a bit of an insight, I was playing with Jyan, kind of playing some practice games, and his style is very, he doesn't like hatch first builds. So this is not very uncharacteristic.
So we got some confusion going on with the spectators.
They claim that it's easier for them to obs in a game than it is to watch a stream. So
not really the worry of the situation.
I don't see how that's possible, but sure.
The players just need to play, and that's the end of the story. They can view replays if they can't. If they can't, watch the stream.
And there goes the core. So very standard build. He is saving. Okay, there he is. Spent some chrono. He was stockpiling that, so it's usually. Yeah. This is getting a little ridiculous.
Okay, anyways, Draco's taking a second gas, fairly standard timing right after he takes the cybernetics core. The drone scout is in there, so as soon as Draco can get a stalker out, he can get rid of that scout and then reveal his tech. I don't know, what do you think Draco's going to do here? I'm not really too sure. I stopped playing Protoss quite a while ago, and I switched to Terran, so this is a foreign matchup for me, to say the least.
Okay, well, from here, depends on what he's building a sentry, so I'm thinking he's going to do a 3-gate expo right now. He might do starport, but that sentry really sets your starport or Stargate tech back quite a bit, and we do see gates going down, so it is definitely going to be a 3-gate expo with heavy sentries. So Jyan does have a few options here. He can, just go on 2-base tech up really fast, get a lot of mute accounts, and do a lot of harassment. Or if he's lucky, get a Nidus Worm in the back of the base. All comes down to Draco's ability to kind of see what's going on and engage that.
I definitely haven't seen a Nidus Worm in a long time.
I haven't either, but if it's left undetected, the space is really big. So and if you just have sentries, they can't tickle down the worm unless they see it right away. So
absolutely, yeah. The drone just dies, so now Draco is free to do anything crazy if he wants. But like Chaos said, I think he's going to be doing a 3-gate expand with heavy sentry and then some zealots after. what kind of push out for timing is Draco going to be looking at doing?
He's not. I don't. Usually, you can't push out with this because the sentries have moved pretty slow and they're really susceptible to ling surrounds. So we could see like a 2 base all in, mass up Colossus or something.
Yep.
But if he does go for an attack, I prefer doing blink stalkers, but you never know what he's going to do. So here goes the Nexus down. Generally, you would want to place a pylon right at your ramp there to kind of block it off,
yep.
make it a little bit easier. That's more of a stylistic thing, I guess. But I generally find it's a little bit better to do. But Juan looks like he's going to drop a third now.
Definitely a smart idea, because when you're going for this 3-gate expand with sentries, there is not a lot you can do to put any pressure on the Zerg, so they're really free to take a third. So what he's doing with the Zerglings here is he's pushing up the ramp to see how many sentries are there, and if there's a low sentry count, that means that his double gas that he had earlier will be going towards some kind of other tech, like DT or for a Stargate. But since he sees all those sentries, he knows that he is relatively safe, and he drops down that third hatchery.
Yeah. One thing I don't like by Draco is he just went Robotech. He has no idea, because we look at his vision, he doesn't know even about the third right now, and he has no idea what kind of tech path Juan is going to. He could be doing an all-in right now, he could taking double expand, he doesn't know. So,
and again,
this is part of the defensive thing I was talking about a little bit earlier. He's not going to really be able to apply too much pressure, but Juan does have an Overlord here, which Draco can see on his mini-map, so we'll see if he commits some sentries to go kill that. But and we do see a proxy pylon, so we could use that, get some zealots out there, get some scouting information, but it shouldn't do too much damage.
Yeah, going Robotech is it's not the worst idea, but putting the Robo Bay or Robo Facility right there is probably the worst idea.
Yeah, I got to question that as well.
The Zergling just poked up the ramp and saw that, so the Zerg paid 25 minerals and got full scout of what's going on.
There was a few lings near these proxy pylon, or this proxy pylon, and they spot it, so that's going to get taken out.
So that proxy pylon is going to be dead, and any aggression that Draco had will be fended off pretty quickly.
I do like the fast forge to get those upgrades going, but they're going to be, without 2 of them chronoing out, they won't really catch up with the Zerg, so.
So his Chrono Boost is fairly low. That is definitely one good thing. A lot of Protosses these days, even into Masters, they don't always use their Chrono Boost, and we'll keep an eye on that throughout the game and see what's happening. Draco is starting to push out here. With the positioning of his pylon, it maybe looks like he's going to be going to take a third base, but that would be kind of risky. I don't really know why he'd be putting a pylon down here for any other reason, but what do you think?
Yeah, he looks like he's trying to be aggressive here, but it's funny because Juan's timing right now, he's kind of just finished droning for his third base, and now he can pump units out. So he scouts this, and you can see here he's got 5 roaches on the way.
And he actually just produced 11
and here's a
of them.
link counterattack right here. Like, there's a sentry gone, that's 100 gas. There's almost no lings spent, so little things like that really favor the Zerg. And we see Infestation Pit coming down, so if that gets up, this push will get cleaned up instantly.
So as I thought with that pylon positioning, the third base did get dropped by Draco, and that leaves him very vulnerable to any kind of Ling Roach attack right now. He is getting his infestation up right now, and Tunneling Claws. Tunneling Claws is about 1/4 the way done. He has seen pretty much everything in the base. Actually, no, he's still really not seen anything. He's keeping it around the army, but that is it. I'd like to see that Observer go into the main base to see what kind of tech is coming up.
Well, I'm very curious to know why he didn't get Hallucination, because with this high sentry count, you can use that mana and send Phoenixes around. And then you keep tabs on your opponent, you know exactly what's coming out.
Absolutely.
So, and, he's got full mana, and they're just sitting there. You could have got very, very valuable scouting information rather than getting this Observer. So
absolutely.
And then you get more Immortals from that because you're not using the build time. So
bingo.
And I am going to criticize this Expo. Oh, okay, we got some action here.
It's pretty good force fields, to be honest.
Yeah, force fields are good. There's just a little too many. I guess he's got the mana for it, but...
Yeah, he had full mana on about 6 of his sentries.
Yeah, the problem is with this, though, he's still going to lose a lot of units here. And actually, Juan's just going to retreat. He did his damage. He spent so much energy on those force fields, and he kept a decent number of roaches alive. So
that was a very favorable engagement actually for Draco if you think about it. The supply, even though Juan is 20 supply ahead, the worker count is the key thing, and they're even on workers, and Draco just got his third base up.
That is true.
So that means if he can defend his third base right now, he's going to be in a fabulous position to transition into Colossi or any type of Templar tech if he wants.
Yeah, and speaking of which, he just dropped a Twilight Council for that, so. But he still has the 2 robos, so I think he's going to do this build. Oh, he doesn't have workers in his gas here. That's really bad. That could destroy your economy.
Yeah, 1 gas is empty right now, but...
Yeah, and here's the Infestor. There's only 1.
Picked it off.
Yeah.
So here it goes. Guardian Shield goes up. Force fields are down, but Burrow is done, and he's going to quickly retreat. There is an Observer there. Funny thing...
and it's trapping all his units, though, so you can't pursue. So.
Yeah, funny thing, though, Roaches burrowed. Don't take a lot of damage from Stalkers.
No, they don't. It's enough, though, but he only picked off a few, which is good.
Yeah.
But the key thing is right now is we've got a 4th coming down from Juan. And, yeah, like I was saying before, the Protoss is probably going to do this new build, the Immortal Templar build. So some DTs, some High Templars, some Immortals, and that's what's going to be going on with that. He has caught up on supply right now, but he is stockpiling a lot of resources. So he could definitely shoot ahead quite a bit if he decided to.
So he's got that gas saturated at his second now.
His
third still has an empty geyser. Not really up on that.
And he was going to drop a 4th here, but this creep poop prevented him. So
that is one thing I used to hate as Protoss, the creep.
Yeah, I still hate that. So all right, so we got to push out here.
I don't really like this. Swan is not in the position to do any damage.
He doesn't have very many force fields left, and there goes all of them. So,
but with the High Immortal account, there's really nothing these roaches are going to be doing, and there is not enough Zerglings to get us around on those.
That is true.
On those Stalkers.
But he does have he's getting Neuroparasite just finished, so he could take he does have quite a few Infestors, so.
It's interesting. Neuroparasite, everyone since patch 1.4 has said Neural's never going to be used, but you watch, a lot of these Immortals are going to get Neuraled, and that whole army is going to die.
Yeah, and we do have... Oh, this is interesting. He's got a proxy pylon set up here. And warping in Zealots in the high ground, he's probably going to snipe the 4th there. Unfortunately for Juan, there's no workers there. So
he may snipe that 4th, but I don't know. I think Juan's got a very, very mobile army, so he's going to be able to get back and defend it. Really, it's not gonna be a big loss. Here's the big engagement.
What was with that force field? That's very bad. I didn't know what was going on there. And this is a huge concave. This should be cleaned up quite easily. We got fungals going down, neurals. There's no reason why Juan should not.
It's not neuraling enough, and I don't know if it's going to be enough now. The Immortals are still doing a ton of damage.
Yeah. But, well, let's look at the bigger picture here. Who can remax quicker? Usually the Zerg can, and there's 30 roaches on the way now. He really needs to get these Colossus out, and his Robo Bay just finished.
Yeah,
so
if he would make all of his gateways into warp gates, he could reinforce a lot faster.
He's missing a few there. And he's getting charged. I'm not 100% on that. I would rather see the blink, but he does have very, very low gas count, so he's probably looking at that and say, well, shit, I can't afford Stalkers right now.
Fair enough. Fungal can really shut down charge lots, whereas... blink. At least they can blink in and snipe the Infestors if they have to, depending on the Zerg's army.
Yeah, and we got another, okay, he's dancing around. And that 4th was taken out in that process, so he didn't quite catch that.
Well, we knew that was coming, but...
this Overlord poop is still going on, so it's going to take a while for that creep to dissipate. And this proxy pylon should get cleaned up here. He's warping DTs in now. So does he have a spore? Oh, he's got an Overseer there, so that should be good.
DT's coming in. Definitely Overseer is going to put a complete stop to this. He chose to just throw both DTs here. Looks like they were on just a straight move command, and now his army is moving out. I would like to see him pick off some of these creep tumors and stop this creep spread.
Like he can come in, poke around, and then just leave.
Yeah.
That's a very common strategy. It also scares the Zerg a little bit. Pops more units out that they don't want to. And key thing is there's actually broodlords in production here. So he's got 5 corruptors coming now. Those are really going to turn the tide. His stalker count is relatively low. Or no, it's getting there. But okay, and Juan's got to get out of there. That's not a very good concave for him. It's interesting he got this charge, but he's got 2 Zealots.